Okay, I guess we are live. Kind of just checking everything I got here, make sure we're in and we are set and we're going. Hello, everybody. This is Daniel Averill, or D Boy from the West Coast Uncensored. And as you know, been on it. We've been definitely looking at things and differently and having experienced things. And as you know, many of us know, we're on about a 5 week trip with orders to stay home. If you missed the video last night that I put out, man, catch it on YouTube. I suggest you catch it and you subscribe because this is just the beginning. Yes, West Coast Uncensored's made some changes. Definitely driven by the passion and not necessarily something that's liked anymore. Not saying that we won't go back and do any sports things, but right now that is just not the passion. It really was something I've been thinking about. But anyways, I go to my last video and you'll hear all about that. That doesn't really matter. It's about honing in to where we are now in the reality, man, and what's happening, what's going on. If you didn't, like I said, hit that video last night, and it was called "Go Home Orders," but it was going into the metaphysical of going home. It was deep. It would get you to places that you would need to go if you were seeking that, if you were hearing that, if you're able to upload and connect to that, it's for you. If not, then it may not be for you at this time. This is definitely more adult conversations, leaving old paradigms behind, uploading yourself into greater detail of consciousness, greater detail of connection, and cutting out a lot of middlemen and cutting out a lot of fatigue. And definitely want to cut out guilt and definitely want to cut out judgment and those things that keep you honed down or keep you at a low vibration. Because really, what we're looking to is exalt and push our energy and ourself to something that would make us have a unity. Because if you look around and see that in the reality that we're facing, there's no unity. I mean, it's not a lack of unity. There's just a basis of non-unity. Unless you take a deeper dive and look in, you see that there's a synchronicity and connection of all things, and there always has been. The stuck in the mud syndrome, or being stuck, is where you get stuck in your mindset and your thinking, and that's really what happens. You get stuck in those areas, and then you're stuck in your thinking. But not always and not ever does your thinking result in what truth is. And man, as we're crossing over to another area, to another age, to another thinking, it ain't about believing anymore. That paradigm is shifted. That is gone. That doesn't produce fruit that gets you to the next level. What this does is we're talking about knowing, and not just knowing, learning to activate, and then seeing a doing going with the knowing, and then activating yourself and going to your source. Where does it abide? And like I said last night, a lot of things, a lot of people, and a lot of ancient books and a lot of ancient teachings has always talked about learning to go within and going in and leveling up. It's a word I love, is leveling up, and see the change that you could do in the metamorphosis you can do when you do certain things in practice, and see how the mindset changes, how the energy changes, and that frequency changes, where you change from I was talking to somebody just last night after the show, and they were telling me how things keep reoccurring in their life, and the things that keep reoccurring is almost, they called it bad juju, question what's happened to them and why they keep drawing certain things. And you'll see that there are certain things that you may be drawing, because everything is man, things are magnets. This is electricity. This is electromagnetic fields. And if you're not drawing and attracting things, then you're going to repel things. And then if you're repelling things, then you're chasing them because they're not coming to you. And if you're garnishing things, bringing them into you that you don't want, you got to deep dive and find out what's what's really going on. Why do the things that I want drawn to me don't, and the things I would really love? You can do some technician work and find out some things, and you'll be able to find out these answers, because we want to develop these answers. There's been too many times that we've gone through life and gone through different fields of life and different situations, going to even different places looking for that help, and man, they just never give it to us. And if we can really think outside the box of indoctrination, and those who get it will get it, you'll realize that there's a lot of that going on. And common sense, which should be something that connects all of us, because it should be a common goal, it should be a common sense, isn't so common. And many many of us. So, and I just want to shout out through all this that what happened. If you listened to the video last night, I kind of told my story is when I took it seriously when they said stay home and go and stay in your house because of all this going on, this global pandemic being called. I took that to a metaphysical way. I took it as not just go to the physical house. I went within and started doing the things that I know you could do, and then avenues started opening it up, experience opened up, expansion opened up, and then you start having the experience that you wanted or you know you could have, and your mindset starts to change, your energy starts to change, all these things start to change. You start being an energy technician within your own temple, within your own body, within your own machine. And I just want to thank out through this go home orders, man. I want to thank University. I was able to connect with University and go there and then really deep dive on knowledge that you're not going to get anywhere unless you deep dive and go in it. And even the stuff that they put out in University, um, and they put out on even on YouTube, there's something within being part of University that there's a deep diving. And I want to be honest, I've been on this road for a number of years, and this road of just opening up to yourself, just abundance of understanding, abundance of revelation has been something that's been with me since early 90s. And I've always went that path and never settled or even did a backflip or did a backstroke to go back to anything that I grew out of. It's almost like being planted in a smaller pot. Once you outgrow the pot, you can't stay in that pot if you want to grow. You'll be stunted. You have to go in a different pot, a different area. But this stuff in University, sometimes it connects with me, but there's a reaching out still of grasping it around, like trying to put your head around it, that whole thing. And I want to appreciate pushing me to my limits. I want to thank University and that teaching and that school and all the dynamic resources they have. Anybody that wants to, that's just the place, one of the places to go. We're wanting to be one of the places to stop by, but I really appreciate Anniversary and all they do with Seven Bomar and that tribe at University. Just changes within 4, 5, 6 weeks that I was able to get online, and then a growth spurt that you wouldn't believe, and a reality change you wouldn't believe, and a knowledge that you can see that you're not just getting degrees in short steps, but you're able to start accessing more parts of yourself to go beyond just going a 5 or 6 degree at a university given to you by a system that has nothing but programming. Let's be honest, and able to understand degrees are measured as heat, and degrees are 360 to see all the way around, and that's the degrees that you need to graduate to. And I appreciate that, and and those resources and the people and the connection that we have to activate it, because it's time for a change, brothers, sisters. It's time for change. It's just playing the game. It just don't ride no more. It ain't ride for me for a while. And those who are awakening to it, welcome you here, because there's a change, and that change is definitely coming and is present, but there's an open door to get in, and the access isn't through me, the access isn't through anybody else. We can definitely be mentors, we can be helpers, but it will definitely connect with something going on and something you understand with you, because we're always going to drive you to the place, and that's going within. Learn to meditate, learn your intuition, learn the aspects of yourself, and then it will start opening up into even being multi-dimensional, multi-understandings, and you'll start seeing a reality that you are more in charge of, and not just dictated to and given to you, that you didn't have a say so, and that you just was given to you, and they said this is what's given to you, and I didn't create this. Why am I living somebody else's dream? That could be with jobs. Why am I living somebody else's vision? That could be what you're doing. That could be what the presentation, and start finding your sovereignty, that you're sovereign, and finding the real you within all the layers of separation and stuff to find you. That's what I just wanted to say. But I was talking a little bit, and I was looking at what we're going to talk about today, and what we're going to talk about is everybody. There's so many people get stuck in their life with problems, and there's 99 problems. We heard songs of that, um, and then there was even 99 problems in that song, and he said one wasn't. I'm here to tell you that we've sometimes, with our energy, not all sometimes, all the time. It's not him hash with the hashers, man. What I mean by that, quit playing the game. This is what we do, and we become so unaware because we just become unaware, and we just fall as we just keep staying outside of ourselves. We don't go to the source. We don't realize it's within us. We don't do it, and we keep living this live volleyball game outside of ourselves and not and neglecting the inside. And the inside is where it's at. The inside is where your spark of light resides, and that's where the temple resides. That's where all those places that you've seen, written, the holy place, the holy of holies, anything of this, of anything like this, is there's a reason it's called the temple. There's a reason that all this stuff connects. How does the universe connect to you? How does the universe even thrive within you? Why are we not thriving? And we have a energy with thought commands what you get out of it. If your thoughts are always that a problem circumvents your situation, that your problem has preeminence over your life, that your problems are always there and you never find really answers, and you just kind of thrash back and forth with the problems and never realize that the solutions outweigh the problems. And really, before the problem ever existed, the solution was manifest, and not just one solution. It may be not, this ain't cookie cutter stuff no more. This new age and what's happening and the changes, you have a uniqueness that you must dive into yourself to see, like a blueprint, like a thumbprint, like a fingerprint, which all differs. We all have, we all have the phi going on. We all got the three head, two arms, two legs. We all got that, but there's a blueprint also part of that, but there's also a uniqueness that you have that differs from everybody else, like a thumbprint. It differs. It makes you different. It's connected to you, and you're only going to find those things by getting to know yourself. And when you look at situations as problems and magnify those problems, that energy just magnifies. And then energy, and you wonder why the reoccurring mindset keeps coming back, and things keep reoccurring back to you, and you feel they're negative, and they don't help you. And why do they come back and attack you? And why? Your source of energy, you have to change, because you're the reason why. It's just taking responsibility. This is going to bring you liberty. It will bring you aspects of joy. And it will bring that. You got to go within inside. And all these things, liberty, joy, freedom. Notice the word free, dome. The word is talking about your dome, your head, the dominion. It's all there. Like I said, that mindset, that thought process, is the only place people get stuck in is in their mind. There's no other place. If you're stuck and you're in the mindset, that's why it's called a mindset. You stick, and if your mindset is that negativity, woe is me, always blaming somebody else, because this blame comes with it, this will liberate you and change you, and there will be a growth in you that you will start taking responsibility for yourself. But you have the power now to go in there and be a technician within yourself to change these things and change the situations. And then you start changing the situation and change your energy pack, man. This reoccurring thing of woe is me and nothing works out and everything's negative and da 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 da. Keep going. Thoughts keep going. When you don't meditate, think this is going on for how many numbers of years you don't do it. Meditation allows you to slow your mind down at your pace, and you actually start learning how to choose things, and you make decisions, and you don't let your emotions dictate to you. Emotions are great. There's nothing really wrong with emotions at all. They can serve you, but if they are not serving you, but they become your master and they dictate you, you're a slave to them. And that's where you have all the drama that you see. How many people how many, just don't even put the blame on self. Look at the mirror and look at the drama that you bring on yourself, because your energy. How many times do you get in the same situations, whether it's relationships, money, job, and then you do the same things, and then you reap, and then you wonder why, and then but you do the same situations with your energy by doing the same behaviors, and then you wonder why they don't change. You're not going to change. It's not going to change when you keep bringing the same energy, and you're in that solar system, and you're just bringing that same magnetic force. You're bringing the same energy that doesn't ever serve you, but brings those things in your life, these different clauses, these different contracts that don't work out anything on your behalf, and you wonder why. It's you. You got a deep dive. It's you, but you got the power to change it. You gotta change it. You gotta take the initiative. Nobody's gonna do it for you. Nobody, and I mean nobody. If you're believing somebody else is gonna do it, that illusion is still very much there, and you can go the illusion. You can go bathe and swim in the illusion. It's not. This is the time to go within. This is the time to go within and take these chances and know it and understand that solutions are reality. The problem is an illusion. The solution's a reality that you have control over that can manifest like a lotus and have all the like a tree or a flower that opens up and you see that you got this option, another option. You got this option. And these are all solutions when I'm saying options. And you have this one problem that now starts to dwindle as a flower that is not watered anymore, as you're not giving it the energy and the thought. Whatever you give your energy and your thought to, guess what? It lives. What you think about, you bring about. You're a creator. And this is one thing they're not going to teach you at places. You're a creator. You're creating by your words, by your energy. What comes around goes around, man. If you keep wondering why the same things hits, how many times you see people repeat the same behaviors and they go wonder why, and you're not changing your energy. And if there's people you want to help, I mean, there's times that I know a lot of you have helped different people in your life, and you've given great advice, and then they turn around and don't listen to you because you can give people advice until they're ready to take the advice and apply it themselves, and ready to come and ready to do the work themselves. They'll just keep repeating the same things. You could have gave them the ace advice for a certain situation in their life that you know is the right thing. And they may even say, yeah, you're right. It's the right thing. But until it's applied in a change, how many times we see that with drug addicts or alcoholics or any holic, anybody that has something, because those could be changed over for anything. It could be food, it could be anything, it could be sex, anything. Repeated habits happen. And until you change the energy of that and enlighten yourself, I'm telling you, you got to go in at meditation. I'm telling you what, this portal opened for a deep dive, and I went back in. I used to do it all the time. I got into the habit of not doing it. And then what happens is that the whole thing is you start looking at it and you start having these hopeless ideas. But the solution's always been there. The solution supersedes, because guess what the word solution comes from? It means sun. In English, it doesn't, but in many other languages, Spanish, other languages, it's sun is SOL, solution, meaning the sun, which is the solution, because the sun always what does what? It's always going to shine. It's always going to be the consistent thing every day. That sun's going to roll around, and daybreak comes, and in the beginning of the day, that sun always shows up because the consistency is there to the brim. You can count on it. We even know by science that what time it's going to rise, when it starts. We even know when it sets and when it breaks. We do that. We know this. That science is there. That synthesizing sun, which can take um, something that has no power. What I mean, it can be poison to you. Synthesize it, and it helps you grow from it. Example: flour. You have to plant a flower with manure or any fruit, vegetable. When you plant it, and guess what happens with it when you plant it? It brings forth edible things, but you can't eat it. You can't eat it before that, but through the synthesis and the growth and the change and everything that comes from that. So why is it I'm going to flip that, because the sun synthesizes that. The sun shows up, man. It's consistent. It's your best friend, because that thing, even the moon, shows up every time, man. Shows up. Doesn't miss any appointments. Doesn't no show. Doesn't call you and say I can't make it today. Doesn't have all these other things going on. It is set. It is going to do what it's going to do. It's going to pop off and show. It's going to be there. And guess what it's going to do by doing that? It is the word solution comes from the word sun. Your solutions outweigh your minute problems that you have given all the energy to the little things that hold you back. We've given the energy. I've did it before. I'm not just picking on you, but them who are awake and ready to come in and dive in and do the things you need to do to have your growth, and quit playing the game. See, there's a game that we seem to play when we always want to pass the buck or find that scapegoat, and it's called the blame game. I'll tell you a little story. How many remember Adam and Eve had two kids? What were they named? They were named. Their two kids, they were their first two, Cain and Abel. Look at that word there, Cain and Abel. See, this is metaphysical. Just think about that. And if you're not looking at it that way, and you're looking at this, may not be for you, but this is about you. If you are not walking upright, you have to walk with a cane. And with the upright, I mean is you are not well. You are lame. And if you're passing blame to all your problems on blaming outside of yourself, because this whole life is a schooling for you, even the negative stuff for you is for how you're going to adjust to it, how you're going to change to it, how this may be a lesson for you to learn, to adjust, to grow, instead of blaming the one outside that is you're giving the blame. This is what I'm talking about with Cain. When you're walking with the cane, you're lame. You drop the B from the blame, you're lame. But if you're able, you walk straight. Hear what I'm saying? That's the Cain and Abel. Are you able, or are you lame, sick, and need a cane? Just some food for thought. This is metaphysical, man. This is metaphysical teachings. This is not childish stuff, indoctrinating stuff. It's not. It's not. If you walking in the, it ain't gonna flow, because you have to break and be ready to receive. Just like an old computer cannot upload a new program. It just is. And you may say, what's got to do? It's got everything to do with it. When you start understanding that these precepts of life, and I will do one, we'll go over this, and I do have a schedule for doing this one day, sharing how how a computer has everything aspect that we have, and we empower even that. Now they're powerful, don't get me wrong, but it's a copy of you. So I'm going to revert for that. That's not what it's about, but that was something I'll talk about in the future. So here you are, having all the resources of strength and power and of greatness within you. But you got to tap in. You got to tap in. If you don't open the tap, you will not get the flow. And whether that's any kind of opening thing, and even beer, if you don't tap the keg, the beer's not coming out, the flow. Hear what I'm saying? If you're not tapping any kind of drink, you got to tap in with this. You got to go within the reservoir of light, life, and who you are in a higher realm of your thinking. A consciousness growth, a consciousness expansion, a consciousness mind, a consciousness experience. How many have had those kind of experiences, and then they kind of go away, and then you don't have them, and you can kind of relish them and go back and think, man, I had the spirits, I had this abundance of revelation I used to be involved in. And then just the care of life just kind of takes you away, and you haven't did it. Now all of a sudden you turn and you look at it's 2 years, and maybe it's 5 years, and maybe it's longer. It doesn't matter in that. It's about the growth in what you're going to do. So maybe a lot of times the things you blame is really take the responsibility and start looking at it was a lesson for you to learn for yourself to grow, whether it's people, whether it's situations, whether it's your reaction. The testing could be the reaction, the way you react to certain things the same way. And then when you're conscious and you're kind of taking in stuff, you're kind of more aware when you tap in of this is how I react to it. But I'm in control here. I'm not, my emotions don't run the show. I'm tired of giving my emotions the run of you, because they will bankrupt you. They will take you and drop you off. They will wear you out if you're led by your emotions. If they are your leader, they are supposed to be not your leader. They're supposed to be submissive unto you. Hear what I'm saying? Your emotions should serve you in a great way, where they would work the perfect way for you to have the feelings and experience your emotions. But if they are, like I've said, if they are the king, if they are the dictator, they're a harsh, harsh slave master, your emotional mind. And those emotions will be your slave master. They will put you to the tilt. And then every time certain somebody comes, and if you've been through, bad upbringings, that's also true. I mean, you've been through some harsh times, not having the best of foundations growing up, but that can be healed and that can be changed, man. Not all of us have had the lives of out of this golden arch of life, perfect in a white picket fence with the big 2-story, 3-story house. Some of us have went through some stuff, and the stuff we went through could have been family and our parents. I mean, just be honest. And then the reality is sometimes we have to let certain things go and all of that go, because if you hold it, you get into resentment, you get into blame, and then what it you're stymied. You don't see the assault. You don't see the solution. You don't see the solvent. Solution's also solvent, and a solvent is also a healing virtue that you put on. When you have a certain salve and you put it on you, that solution will bring salvation, because that salve, that's where it comes from, will heal those wounds and those wounds within. You're opening up yourself to go in and to be and to magnify it, man, and to magnify and know yourself. Know thyself is the key. You have to know yourself. And then you start meeting yourself. You realize there's aspects of yourself that you don't know, because there's ways to growth, because we're multidimensional beings. I mean, it's just coming out now. But you got quantum physics, you got all the quantum, you've got people having quantum experiences, and you start seeing this stuff and you start having it, and not just seeing and experience it. It doesn't matter what somebody thinks or believes. You can believe a lot of stuff. It doesn't mean, and it doesn't mean just because you believe it that it's so. Because it can believe some funky bunch stuff, man, and then in common sense don't really operate as a foundation of belief systems. It doesn't, just doesn't. It ain't abiding there. That's just the reality. It's not abiding there. But if you tap into yourself, you start putting yourself back together, and you got to understand that the solution is what you need. I'm going to be honest. This is what's happened in the conscious community that I've known and connected to, and the people I know, and the people here too, and the people I've connected to. It's always there's a game that's being played, and it's because of this. And this game is being played is that we in the conscious community has been around, have did an investigation on certain things, and we know how certain things run, and we know that a lot of people have no idea because of the system and what's really happening. But it is open to us as a soar what's gone on with government, religion. This would be real. Secret societies, how they're ran. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's the same by mistake, man. You're taken through the ringer, and it's planned, and nothing comes out just because it happened, man. Nothing does. I always use this. Apple tree does not one day go out and you go, oh, the apple tree's got bearing fruit. It's bearing. It's got oranges. It's got. No, that apple tree will always bring forth apple tree. A system will always produce what it is. And if you're believing that that system that you're looking for a change within is going to produce another fruit, that's illusion. That is not going and tapping. When you tap in, you understand it is done for a purpose. That tree was planted to produce the fruit that it brings, and that ain't changing, and there's nothing you can do, and no system's going to change it, because this system's been set forth. It's a egregor. This system, it got hands, eyes, it walks, it talks, and it's already taken a life of its own, even though it's a system. But did you say who's doing it? Why I'm saying that is because we've gave so much power over to them that we've called in power, the elites, that we just say they're doing this because of this. They're doing this because, and this is what I hear all the time. And I mean, I'm just being honest, my brothers and sisters. We need to come to unity and have solutions. We can't just be saying this is what they do, this is what they do, and this is what they're doing, this is what they're doing, and this. Then what you're saying, that's outside of yourself. Where's the solutions? Where's a deep dive into you and start doing the fixing and say, hey, if all is all, and all dwells with me, and all is self, and all this consciousness dwells within me, and all the solution, if we come into abide to say, game over, we are powerful. Their main thing is to keep you from yourself. That's why all the distraction of government, TV, and all this is distraction, because they know if you were tapped in, game would be over. You wouldn't be playing their game, because you know their game is a game, and you're the one being gamed in that game. But you staying outside of yourself. Even the conscious community, just continually, over and over. Man, stuff we've known for a long time. I don't need to keep talking about this stuff. It's not growing. And then I started seeing that, and then I was like, we have unlimited power and majestic power within us. But the key is within you. I can quote all the Bible stuff. I can quote all the stuff from the former cultures, from India, from Kemet, and all that. They had the main line thing that kept going, that it's within you. Tap it, understand it, because with all the fluff and vigor that's been given to us, like getting a package, and then you have enough nothing but airbags in it for a little piece that you order this big with, but it's filled with all this airbags or other things filled in the box, which really isn't what you ordered. But that line of truth is that it's within you, that it's within you. And when you start understanding those things, that it's within you, then you start tapping in. Then there's a reservoir. What does the word say? It says we haven't even tapped into ourselves. 10%. They say you use 10%. Well, again, I'm going to say who's they that said that, because I don't always trust they, because the word they, I don't know if it's truth, because there's an agenda there when that word, oh, that's what they say. Oh, who's they? Hear what I'm saying? That's why you got to know yourself, because all that's within you, to spring up into that center, into that everlasting life of knowledge and experience. Reoccurring struggles. Real quick, I'm going to go over this. Some of the things that happens when you magnify the problem, and empowers and discredits the source within you, because you're not relying on your source. It's like, I have no light, and then you're looking around and and you have a light next to you, and you have a plug in, and you say it's dark, but you never take the time to plug in the light. You discredit your own self. You discredit your common sense. You discredit yourself. Notice these recurring thinking mindset. It's a mindset. You're stuck in the mud, reoccurring. Why is this always reoccurring on me? What did I do? What am I not doing? It could be connected to very, very different periods in your lives. The answer is within you, karma, and that doesn't have to always be a negative. See, we always make certain things negative, like certain things I will be breaking down in the week, some words, and showing you how this English language works. Because when you find out what that word means in etymology, you say, "Oh, that's not really negative." Yes, but we'll be getting on that stuff. This is going to empower you, because you quit speaking negative on yourself. It blinds you from your inner standing. Notice this, inner standing. Going within and get an inner standing, that it's within you. Get an understanding, because there's an understanding, and that would be like you build a house and you go under it and you see that second story. You understand that second story is built strong enough to hold the next level. That's an understanding. Understanding is the house within you, the temple made without hands. The temple here, made without hands. It's not nothing outside of you. It's nothing outside of you. Get that outside out. That's where you're dwelling, out in the outside, and the outside is never going to serve you. You just dwell. Um, understanding. You understanding. Your understanding is a higher level that has the weight for you to progress to a higher understanding. You can see it. You can see the understanding that I can go to the next level, and it's secure foundation. Now, overstanding is going to the highest point and looking down and seeing how it all works. Think about that. Overstanding. This blinds you from your unlimited resource within when you stay outside yourself, and you're looking at and magnifying the problem and not understanding, man, the solution outweighs the problem. The solution is the real deal. The problem, it's minute. No. Problem, solution, son, solution always there. Solution has all kinds of synthesis. Solution's always manifesting itself in multiple layers. Well, the problem is an outside problem, usually, that actually, if you just let it and sometimes forget about it, it takes care of itself. And then you magnify it by just putting more on it. And then a lot of times when you have some insights, you're like, why are you even worried about that? How many times I've said that really has nothing to do with you? Why are you, there's a word that somebody very close to me, why are you borrowing, close to me says, and it would be, why are you borrowing trouble? Inner knowing, solutions, self, how you build, and I mentioned this, the synthesism of growth of light, the sun, soul, Lucian, Spanish, sun is soul, right? Soles of your feet. We call it the soul. There's a connection to that. It ain't, oh, no. This isn't connected. There's a synchronicity that we start seeing when we start opening up our mind and taking that place to a higher place. The sun synthesis. There's a mediator that has to meet it as the sun comes directly, but there's a synthesize it to chop it down so you can receive it, kind of like through the mother eating food, and then her body kind of regulates it to go through the cord and go through into the baby. The sun has to have a synthesis so you can grow from the synthesis as a processor. And I'll get into that later. That processor is also connected to the computer, and we'll get into that either. What's the original you or the computer? We'll get into that. Light senses enables you to change, manifest your change, transformation from the caterpillar to the butterfly, through that womb or through that hive or through the place that we don't see what's happening inside there while this transformation's happening. We don't know. We don't live inside and see the transformation of the caterpillar into the butterfly, because that's your experience too within you. As you change and start manifesting within you, you're going in and you're having this dynamic change and you're growing from it. Man, but you got to tap in. You staying out yourself and want to change it. It don't happen. It don't work that way. There's a foundation of techniques that you have to use to get there. It just doesn't happen by chance. Sure, when you start acknowledging and seeing, and there's something in you just kind of sticks with you, there's some awakening going on there that lets you know there's something more than what you're doing, and there's experiences you have. But did you follow through with the experience? Did you go in and get it? And this is sometimes we don't, and that's a process. It's part of synthesis. But if you're ready and you're saying, "Man, it hits with me. This is thoughts I've had for a lifetime. This is thoughts I had for 2 years. This is thoughts I had for 4 years. This is thoughts. It just makes sense to me, and it's my time now." You got to tap back in. You got to go into the meditation. You got to go into that. Find out who you are. This layer of labeling and this system has hit us purposely. I'm going to say it, from who we are, because when people find out who they are, they no longer give their power away to something else outside of them. It's a process. I just want to thank everybody for being here. And if this helps you any, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because there's more videos. Some of the stuff I even mentioned, I will go into more detail with them and have definitely lessons about them. But remember, quit magnifying the problem. It takes away your power. Magnify the solution, and you'll see that your problems weren't as bad as you thought they were, that you had dominion and you had the solutions to solve. And notice solve is used for math. Solve the problems in math. They even said you got to solve the math problem. You got to solve the Mayat problems. So the Mayat was good enough to give you a way to solve it. And the solving of the Mayat in the math, guess where that word comes, Mayat, comes from? It comes in the math, but it's also mother. That's another thing we'll get into. But you guys have a great day. This is D-Boy Daniel from West Coast Uncensored. If you're looking for some other things, man, we're doing the passion. My passion has been the spiritual growth. I've did this for years, did it in different areas, but man, the amount of change that's happening now is just extraordinary. And I appreciate everybody that's here. And hit me back up soon. We'll have more videos dropping. Have a great day. West Coast Uncensored. See ya.